Smileys Plastering, providing award-winning plastering and rendering services for over 25 years. I will handle everything from a small repair to a whole commercial building inside and out. Get a free quote day or night and every job gets a Smileys touch. Give us a call on 0417 730 926 or visit the website smileysplastering.com.au.
So, Georgie Parker, South Australia, Perth, Gold Coast. What's brought you over here?
So we've got a week off from training at the moment, and I've got some family over here, so instead of spending the time in Perth where you're used to the same running tracks and the same gym, it was just a bit of change of scenery for the last week we've got off until Rio.
So, South Australia, let's take you back there. It's not the hotbed for producing international hockey players, so what made you stand out from the crowd?
Well, I grew up in a country town, in a town called Berry, and it's a really, really strong sporting town, sporting area, I guess, in the Riverland. A lot of AFL players come out of that region, and there's actually two hockeyroos, me and Carrie McMahon, both come out of the same town of Berry. You know, there's not much to do. It's a town of 3,000 people, so you play sport or you don't have much to do. So chose hockey and just excelled from there, and then, you know, got picked up by Sassy at a young age and went from there.
What other sports did you play, and were you tempted to pursue those?
Yeah, I used to actually play lacrosse, and I was in the junior Australian team for that, but lacrosse wasn't in the Olympics, so I chose hockey instead.
It's been a busy time for you as a hockeyroo the last couple of months. Give us a review.
Yeah, so we came back from our Christmas break quite early. It was a pretty short Christmas break, going over to Singapore for the Three Nations against Holland and Germany over there, which we took our whole squad over there, so it was a really good opportunity for the younger girls to get some matches against some pretty tough opposition in Holland especially. Then came back, a couple of weeks training. We had the Great Britain series, which again we played the whole squad through, so another opportunity for the younger girls to show what they're capable of before we start refining the squad coming in for the next couple of months, where we go over to New Zealand for the Hawke's Bay Cup, which is an 8 nations, and then Champions Trophy in England, and then the big one of Rio in August.
For those who know you and those who follow you, they'd know that you're a big person on social media. What does it mean to you, social media?
Social media is a platform where you can express yourself in any way you want to, whether it's Instagram through photos, Twitter through words, or Facebook through any means you need to, whether it's video, words or photos. So it's just a good opportunity for people to make their stamp in the world with whatever way they want to.
Why do you think it's so important for hockey to use social media?
I think it's really important for the Hockeyroos and for the Kookaburras and hockey as a sport in general, purely because we don't have the numbers watching us week in, week out like some of the bigger sports do. So we need it as our main platform to push the Hockeyroos into the mainstream media.
And the Commonwealth Games was a classic example.
Yeah, exactly. With the Queen's photo bomb, that was probably the biggest social media event of the year. It was in all papers around the world. It was the front page of the Times, you know, so it's such an easy way and free way to spread a message across.
How much planning, thought went into it?
Oh, well, they were standing there for a few minutes just waiting for the photo to come out, for the Queen to come out, but yeah, I don't know how much planning it could be to be as perfect as it was. She was looking directly at the camera, so it was just one of those lucks. They took 3 photos, I think, and one of them was that one.
Now, I said you're very big on social media, and you used the platform just recently to come out about your depression. Why did you go public with such a private issue?
Yeah, it was a really hard a really hard time in my life, and something that I felt a bit of a fraud if I didn't come out. I do a lot of work with, especially Ash Nelson and Rach Lynch with Are You OK Day, to promote mental health awareness, and I felt as if I didn't come out, it would be a bit of a fraud act on my behalf. I needed to let everyone know that it doesn't discriminate, that everybody has these hard times no matter who you are, what your job is, and you know, I do have this pretty cool life. You know, it's the middle of February and I'm sitting on the Gold Coast on a Wednesday afternoon having a chat to you on the beach. You know, I've got this luxurious life that I'm really privileged to have, but just because you have that doesn't mean that you can't be suffering. So I just wanted to let people know that it is okay to have these problems, and you know, you can do anything about it. You just got to go about it the right way, there are a lot of people that are there to help you, especially with your friends and family, and the support that the government can give you as well with the Beyond Blue and things like that. So, yeah.
What part do you think being a top sports person actually plays in your depression?
Oh, I actually think there's probably a lot of undiagnosed depression in high-profile sports especially. There's a lot of pressure putting on you at such a young age. A lot of kids, especially footy, you're leaving home at 17, 18, putting a lot of pressure on the world. Failure is inevitable in all of our sports. You're never going to have a perfect game. You're getting constantly critiqued by your coaches, by your peers and by yourself, and it's a really highly stressful environment, and I think that plays a massive factor into why I was feeling so low. It's probably not the sole cause. Of course there's your family history as well of the illness as well, but I do think that there's probably a lot going in sports, and Hockey Australia were really, really supportive of me through my time and through all of the people that are struggling through the time. All sporting bodies are going to be helpful in it, but it's up to the individual whether to come out to it, and then as well the peers. I think letting my peers know that I was struggling was probably the hardest thing that I had to do, but once I did, their support was increased tenfold. So it's really, really hard, and some people aren't as open about it as I am, but I wanted to make a difference.
So Georgie, we've been talking about your social media. Chris Gayle, huge interest in your comments about Chris Gayle. Tell us the story.
Yeah, so I was just watching the Big Bash, the Renegades versus, I don't even know who they were playing, Hurricanes maybe, and Chris Gayle had just a friendly bit banter with Mel McLaughlin, and I thought it was hilarious, just asked her out for a drink. Granted, she did feel uncomfortable, which once someone feels uncomfortable probably should stop, but telling her to don't blush after asking her out for a drink and calling her pretty, I thought it was pretty funny. So, there was huge uproar about it all over social media, saying it was sexism and workplace sexist behaviour and all this sort of thing, sexual harassment. Just, put a joke into place saying, if next time I'm getting interviewed, I'll do a Chris Gayle and ask to interview out for a drink. So, Paul, are you wanting to go out for a drink after?
Much as I'd love to. I believe I've got to get back and do a couple of interviews. Thanks, Georgie. You made my day.
Yeah, look, I had a lot of backlash from the public about it, but I also had a lot of support about it as well. You have to take a job and take a joke, and you can give what you take, give what you get. So I'm someone that gives a lot of banter, so I know that I get a lot of banter back, and that's me personally. But I guess everybody's has their right to be offended by things, but take it as a joke.
As one of the top athletes in what is probably the most gender-balanced sport in the world, do you feel a responsibility to take a bit of a feminist stance for these things?
Of course there's times where I'm not so much a feminist, I'm more for about equality. So if you're doing the same work as somebody, then yeah, you should be getting paid equally, but there's times and places that you need to be calling action for, and then times where, for example, Hockey Australia have done the great initiative of having equal pay between us and the Kookaburra is something that it's hard to do in other sports purely because of the amount of money that comes in for male sports as opposed to their female counterparts. So it's easy in a sport like ours in hockey, but it's harder in a sport like football or cricket. So it is hard to watch things like that when inequality does go into place, but time and place.
But let's finish up with a couple of quick questions. We know you sports people are on strict diets, so what is your crave food?
Oh, look, it'd have to be crunchy peanut butter or pizza.
What or who is your biggest inspiration?
Biggest inspiration, probably my mum.
What is your greatest moment?
Greatest moment was equalising, in hockey sense, equalising with 11 seconds to go on the Commonwealth Games final.
What's your biggest regret?
Regret, probably not pulling my finger out of my bum early enough in hockey sense.
What do you find the hardest things to balance?
Probably social time with the amount of time I need to be resting or putting it into hockey.
What do you miss the most?
I miss the most the special times with your family, whether it's the weddings, the engagements, the births of your nieces and nephews, and you know, funerals, all those sort of things that you can't do when you're away for hockey.
And talking of being away, what's your favourite place? What's the one place you'd love to go?
I've already been to this place, but I really want to go again at Christmas time. I want to go to New York Christmas time and have a white Christmas over there.
And lastly, dead or alive, which person would you love to meet?
Richard Branson. I just want to pick his brain about how to become so rich. Hi Smiley, I've really enjoyed being the Smileys Person of the Week.